Good day to you, YouTube pipe community. I am here with Mr. Levon Erck. Want to introduce yourself to the YTPC?
Good afternoon, folks. Glad to be here.
I'm here at the St. Louis Pipe Show, and Lee and I are going to talk about our friend Ed Jurkieweicz, E. Andrews Pipes. And with that, we're also going to open up a tin of 2004 British woods that Ed gifted to me. I met Ed through Yuli's, and he came in every Thursday. Became a great friend, taught me a lot about pipes, pipe tobacco, and gave me a lot of good memories, laughter, and joy. But this man right here, knew him a lot longer than I knew him, and I thought I'd bring him here so we could hear a story or two about Ed.
Yeah, there's a lot of good stories about Ed. I've got a picture of him in Japan. We were in Nara, and they have around all the shrines herds of deer, and they've got booths that sell cookies to feed the deer. We were with Paulo Becker and a couple other pipe makers, and Paulo was trying to pet the deer. And of course he didn't have cookies, they wouldn't go close to him. So Ed, there was a stand right there that was selling cookies. Ed went over there to buy cookies to give to Paulo so the deer would come up to him. And there were no deer close. Ed goes over and pays for him. Before he can turn around, he's got about 8 deer standing there, because the deer know where the cookies come from. They know he's buying cookies. When Ed turns around and then they start jumping, Ed's got the cookies up in the air. He's got this look on his face of horror. What the hell am I going to do? And Paulo never did get the cookies. So there.
Now
That's a short story about two of the old pipe makers.
How long did you know Ed?
Oh, I probably knew Ed over 25 years.
Did you meet him at the shows, or?
Yeah, I don't remember exactly the first time, but I'm pretty sure that it would have been at one of those pipe shows they used to have up on Silver Spring Drive at the Edwards store.
The old MAPS shows, the Milwaukee pipe shows?
No, those weren't map shows. Those were put on by the Edwards pipe show there. Dean, what was Dean's last name? I can't think of it. Dave would know. But Dean and his wife ran his store. It was in a mall situation, but right outside the door there was a nice patio and tables and everything out there, and it was just there for use. No assigned tables or anything. We just showed up on a Sunday. It was a Sunday after Labor Day. He'd always have it. And he got lucky and had nice weather every year I went. And Ed would always show up. But that's probably where I met Ed for the first time. And then, of course, see him in Chicago and Columbus. And there were other shows at that time. Fort Wayne used to have a show. Indianapolis had a show.
And you guys would go to every show?
Well, not every.
Try?
Well, yeah, try. But some of them, it was just, back in those days, I'd had too many pipes in inventory. I traveled with a Foot Locker full of them. Or sometimes I traveled with them in gun cases. And I'd have 48 pipes or something. In the Foot Lockers, I have more. But we were, actually, at one time at the Core Show, in Richmond, Ed saw a pipe on my table that he had to have. And we'd been talking about trading pipes, and I said, well, Ed, take it. Go ahead, you take it. It was Friday night. He didn't have his pipes out. I said, I'll come by the table tomorrow and I'll pick one. So the next day I went back to his table, and at that time, Ed's pipes were selling for a lot more than mine were. And I felt guilty. And I looked them over and I found the cheapest pipe on his table. And I said, I'll take this sandblast. Okay, that's fine. And it was about the same price as mine. And he later told me that was a copy of a Sheridan he had seen years ago. And I've still got the pipe. I smoke it every now and then. I smoked it a couple times since he died. But Ed and I got to be real good friends. And for some reason, the Japanese found me early on of the internet. I was selling pipes to Japan back in 1997, 99. My first website went up in 97. And a young man just outside of Osaka, he had been in that earthquake that hit Kobe back in, that was about 95, I think, and really destroyed. He lost everything he owned. Him and his wife and his two boys lost every pipe he owned, everything. And he started buying pipes off of my website. And then he wanted to open a online store, an internet store. So he started buying pipes for that. And this is my first trip. Then I'll make it short. He found out about a pipe show in Japan. Asked if I could send him some extra pipes. He was going to this pipe show. And he also had some other pipe makers. He had some Danes and some Italians, but no other Americans. Well, I had to be in Fort Wayne for an in-store thing the weekend before. So I told him, I said, the only way I can do this is if I bring them. Mm-hmm. So he said, you come to Japan? I said, yeah. So I had to get a Russian passport and all that. And I ended up going over. Then he wanted more pipe makers. For the next year, he wanted another pipe show. He wanted more pipe makers, and that's when I said, well, talk to Ed. And he and Ed got along well, and he liked Ed's pipes. And Ed, and there were a couple others. I think Peter Heeshen was there that second year. And a fellow lives in Indianapolis now, Phil DeFont. He was with us that year. Paulo Becker. And because I had been there the year before and met these people, my pipe sold like hotcakes. I mean, it was crazy. And those guys sold pipes, but not like mine. But the second time they went back, theirs started selling.
Yeah. Ed told me he outsold you one year, and he was very excited about that.
He tried.
He tried.
He tried. Yeah, he tried.
If any of you are looking, you can go to like eBay and you look up E. Andrews Pipes, and you can see some of the work that Ed did, and here's some of the craftsmanship that Lee is referring to here. He was a great man.
Yeah, Ed was a machinist in real life, and so that gives him a big advantage working to the tolerances that we work to. He had some really nice big old machine lathes in his basement. I don't know where they are now. I know he moved them out to Barbara's house. And they had to take them all apart because at his old house, he had one of those storm entries from outside to the basement, so it was straight down into the shop. Well, get out to Barbara's, it's down the stairs and around
a corner. Yeah.
Well, he had to get a buddy that he had that was a mechanic for those shops to come out and take them apart, move the pieces down, put them back together. But he had some nice old lathes. He had a smaller Grizzly that he used just for making bits. And he had Briar. Oh, he had Briar. He'd had Kronowitz send him briar. He had Teddy Knutson had sent him briar.
Yeah, and he said it was before the internet. He got a personal relationship with Mimo.
Oh,
So
yeah.
He's like, I worked so hard. I called him and I would send letters, and then all of a sudden the internet comes around, and I realized I wouldn't have had to work that hard.
Yeah, we talked about that a couple of different times, and we were struggling to find the quality briar that we knew was available. I mean, the Danes all had it. Some of the Italians had it, like Baldo Baldi, for one. But where'd they come from? You know, how did they get it? Well, there was an American that was getting it. Mike Butera had spent a lot of time over there going around the different briar cutters. And Mike Butera was the first American to find Mimo's father.
All right.
When Mimo was a little boy. So Butera's been buying briar from there for a long time. But then, when Mimo grew up and they were, Teddy Knutson was going down there a lot. Teddy ended up buying a house. That's how Ed and I really got to know him. And then he started coming to Chicago. I had Teddy send me some briar one year. And the next year, it was great stuff. Oh, it was great briar. And I had like 12 pieces or so it didn't take too long. I was through. Now I'm back to this junky Greek stuff I had. Well, I walked into Chicago and Teddy's sitting at the bar. That's back when we could smoke in the bar. Teddy's sitting, he's talking to some guy, I don't know who he is. And I said, Teddy, can I get some more briar? Teddy said, well, why don't you buy it from him? That's where I get it. And he points at Mimo, he's sitting next to him. So that's when, I think that was Mimo's first trip to Chicago. So that's when we got to know Mimo. Because I'm sure Teddy introduced Ed to him too.
Yeah.
And we started buying Mimo briar, and it's been nothing but good since. I haven't bought briar from anywhere else since then. And that goes back a long time. We were still smoking in the bar in Chicago in those days, long before the tent.
You wanna open this up?
Yeah, go ahead. It's your gift. You crack it.
I'm gonna have you crack it. I just wanna. So 04
British Woods.
And Ed would come in, and Ed had no qualms with touching other people's pipes, touching other people's tobaccos. He would snatch a pipe out of my mouth. He would always I'd pull a tin out, and he'd grab it out of my hand and dig around in it and smell it. And one Thursday I actually had off. He apparently brought this in for me to say, thanks for letting me always touch and dig around.
Another Ed story in Japan. Peter Heshin involved. Lots of Ed and Peter stories. It was a number of years ago now. Everybody was buying this real bright light, shining it down the shank, so to see where the draft hole was. And shit, if it's off that much, it casts a shadow down there. Well, Peter was doing that to everybody's pipes. It come up to me one time, quietly said, if he shines that light down one more shank on my pipes, God damn it, I'm gonna hit him. He said something. He was so mad at Peter for that. And Peter was just always giggling, you know how he was. Oh yeah. Yeah. Love the coin. You really
I want you to give it a pop. I want you to do it.
All right, let's listen. A little bit of a fizz.
Ooh, looks good. Looks good.
Yeah, some of these cutter tins are pop topsy. Ooh, we got a piece of it. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Oh, it smells good.
Yeah, dude.
See there, it's gonna be a little darker.
No.
Smoky characteristic doesn't. The ketchup isn't there.
No.
No.
No, there's no ketchup there.
Yeah, Ed was a big fan of the Latakias coming out of McClelland. Talked
Yeah.
about it all the time.
Yeah. He liked, he got, the older, both of us found this out. We talked about it. The older we got, the more we got away from Latakias. We went to the Virginians. I know in the end he was buying a bulk broken Virginia flake.
Torgan's Gold or...
Targan's Gold or something from, the only place he could find it was a pipe shop in Cologne, no, not Cologne, Hamburg.
Yeah, they would send him the big bags of the...
Right, he could buy bulk from them.
So I found a tin of it and I gave it to him, and he went into a whole diatribe on how I used to be able to get these bags of it, and these bags were this, and they would send me just pallets of this.
Yeah, and he used to be able to send them a money bank order or something. He was upset. Or credit cards, and all of a sudden, no credit cards or anything. He had to send them an international money order, and yeah, in the end, he was really upset over that. I'd like to know what happened to all of his mooring pipes. Called them. He had one pipe rack in his kitchen, and it had some good stuff in it. I know I remember seeing a Teddy Eagle in there, and there was a couple of Dunhills in there.
Well,
But it was his best smoking pipes, and that's the first one. He'd smoke one of them every morning, first thing.
and he had a different color pipe cleaners.
Yep.
So he would smoke until they were all red, and then smoke back until they were all green. He had two different color pipe cleaners, and I went there with my wife, and we were looking at his pipes, and Ed was handing them to her, handing them to me, and she had the Teddy Eagle, and she goes, "This is beautiful." I said, "That's more than our mortgage." And she just, like, you could see her face.
Yeah.
And she's like, and I was like, "I'll take it, honey, that's fine."
Yeah, I think maybe Teddy had gifted that to Ed. But Teddy at one time had a bank account in Milwaukee. And after the Chicago show, he'd go home with Ed because he had to visit the bank once a year.
Mm-hmm.
So he'd deposit all his money from Chicago and keep it away from the Danish government.
Yeah.
All those Europeans, they call it black money over there. But all of them, the Italians, the Germans, the Austrians, the Danes, the Swedes, everybody's got black money. They pay 60% in income tax.
Ooh. Oh, thanks.
In Denmark.
Before we end the video, tell the YouTube pipe community a little bit about yourself and where they can see your pipes.
Well, I'm just a pipe maker who lives too far north. I'm up in far northern Michigan.
Most of the people where he lives talk like this.
Yeah.
They're like, "Hi Lee, how are you doing? Wanna go hunting?"
Yeah. There's an accent up there. I've been in Marquette County pretty much all my adult life. I was born and raised in northern Minnesota, so I'm really a northern boy. I make pipes. You can find them at Levon-Erck, that's spelled ERCK.com. On the home page, there's a button that says "In Stock." That's pipes that I have in my hot little hand.
Mm-hmm.
There's also one marked "Sold." Now, the sold pipes is all the pipes that I've made the past since the internet.
Wait, I can go all the way back to 99 in your sold pipes?
97.
97?
But some pictures have been lost in hard drive crashes, and where the website lives, they had a change in servers, and I lost some pictures there too. But there's still tons of pictures over there.
Awesome.
There's got to be over 1,000. I know there's over 1,000.
Von, VON,
Dash.
not slash, dash.
Not the underline, dash.
ERCK.com.
Yep.
And this man's a real treasure in the community. And catch him in the right mood, he's a treasure to talk to.
He's not a grumpy old hermit.
Not a grumpy old hermit all the time. All right, hey, thank you.
You're welcome.